Hello, everyone. This is Zam Zerwin, the director of the Portland Comedy Film Festival. And right now we are gearing up for our Winter 2026 event, which is going to take place on February 1st at the beautiful historic Clint Street Theater in Portland, Oregon. And in preparation for this event, we are talking with some of our participating filmmakers. Today we're talking with Jake Gagnier, who has two films in the festival, Best Friends and Max Magic, two very different films. And we're going to get into the differences of those. So, Jake, thank you so much for meeting with me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Well, these are both funny and they're both super different. How about tell me a little bit about each to get started?
Okay, which one do you want me to start with?
Let's start with Max Magic because I liked what you were saying earlier.
Totally. So, Max Magic, I did with a lot of my friends that I met in this sketch comedy writing class at Kickstand Comedy, and it was one of the so a lot of people that do like sketch writing are also somehow in improv acting as well. So a lot of these people that I met are also down to like do some acting. And as I've been getting into like writing and trying to figure out how I'm gonna get actors also with no budget, I'm like, how am I gonna do this? So luckily, I had got into this group of writers that also wanted to do acting stuff, and I'm not really trying to act. So,
Okay.
um, anyways, I was like, what would so Mitchell like he let me in on a piece of information that he used to be like really good at magic, like up until high school. And then like him and his brother were like a magician group, and then they kind of had like
Oh
a
wow.
falling out and like stopped performing magic. And I was like, that's such a like funny story. And so I was like, are you good at magic? And he's like, I mean, like I was at some point, but I don't really remember anything. I was like, dude, it would be really funny if we did like this thing where you were a magician in a park doing magic for people, and we're trying to like create this video like amping up your brand to like make it to Vegas or something, or Reno
Hmm.
or something like that. um and you could just do really shitty magic tricks in the park to like people that are walking by, and it's like kind of like fucking with them. So that's where like some of the comedy is. And then also having like his like two side people, like there's the mime and then Lily was a clown,
Right.
kind of like running around and just like adding to the just weirdness of people walking in the park, like what the hell is going on with this.
Totally.
And so that was super fun. I had like scripted it a tiny bit more, but
Okay.
it didn't really like go that way. It ended up just being much more freeform. And so we just kind of let it like ride and see what happened. And then Mitchell actually is the one who edited this. It was his first time editing anything, and he cut that together. And it
Nice.
turned out really funny, dude. Like I really like Max Magic, and I wanted to kind of turn it into a like a recurring thing, because it was just like
Yeah.
the first time we've ever done anything like that, and like we didn't know what the hell we were doing. But it was so fun, and I don't know if any of the other people were down to continue on, but it was like such a great learning experience. And
Totally.
I thought it like turned out pretty good. So yeah,
No,
Max
it's super
Magic was
funny.
cool. Yeah,
Oh, I like the little gags. I mean, I think it's hilarious that the boom operator's a mime.
yeah,
The guy handling sound can't make sound himself.
yeah,
Tell me a little bit about the process. I mean, we all love those types of out on the crowd bits,
mhm.
and you get some excellent results, but it's sort of stressful to be out there and you don't know what's going to happen. What was that like? Was there any like nerves, or did you encounter anyone that was, I don't know, cramping the style? What was that like?
So are you talking about just like approaching people in real life,
Yeah,
like with a
totally.
camera? Yeah. So I was having Zach, the guy that was like the fake producer, like trying to
Okay.
get produce this show. I was having him like run up to people and say like, "Hey, we're just doing this like comedy thing, like we're using like open signal gear." So we're saying it was like like it's like for Portland community media. Like, can you
Okay.
do this? Would you be down to like do this magic trick? We weren't saying, Zach was saying like this is for a comedy show, but I was like, don't tell him it's a comedy show,
Right.
like just say it's a magic trick. So because the reactions will be better if, because like Mitchell's playing it straight, right?
Right.
He's playing it really straight, like, oh, is this your card? Is this your card? And like the people, like when I was like panning over to them and they're like, yeah. So yeah, that was good. I didn't want to be like the bad guy asking people if I could film. So I was like, I gave that job to Zach, like, you're acting and you're also like getting people to come
Right.
over so we can mess with them. But the second they said yes, I was up there with the camera, just like zooming in
Perfect.
on everybody and just like getting like, because I don't have any camera experience at all, and I was just on like autofocus and just like zooming in, zooming out,
Okay,
doing like
totally.
crazy stuff. And yeah, it was really fun, and it felt a little bit like Reno 911 to me, where we're just it's like improv in like a situation where you're trying to like have some kind of resolution. And then the process of just writing that one was I started out with like, what, hey, Mitchell, what kind of magic tricks can you do? And then like, how can we make them more lame than that? And so we came up with like three like semi lame magic tricks, and then I added little backstories for the other characters, which didn't like come out that much. Like the mime was supposed to be like from Russia, like escaping like some
Mm.
war, and but like none of that stuff really came out. I was gonna like have like a whole monologue for him that was just like subtitles.
Oh,
Um,
that'd been funny.
yeah, but we didn't. Yeah,
But they're
so
these little irreverent touches, and I think keeping the focus really narrow is actually positive for this because you can focus on the random interactions, and you have this. And I thought it was so funny to hear Max Magic's like backstory because it's so uninspiring. You know, it's
yeah,
and
was
I
he a
thought that was
rubber
so
band
fun.
salesman? Like his dad is a rubber band salesman. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
was,
like that is
I love
so
that part too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's cool. It worked out as the first time you did that. Shout out to Open Signal because
Shout out to Open Signal. Hell yeah.
literally,
Open Signal, if you're listening, I love you.
yes,
Yeah.
I've rented stuff there for free. I should say it's not renting; it's free. It's awesome. That place
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
why Portland should be way more on the map for indie film. But tell me about Best Friends Now. This is I think similarly irreverent, similarly absurdist kind of thing, but it's a little more scripted. It's a little more traditional narrative. What was that like?
So yeah, Best Friends was really awesome. I think that I was the one who thought that it was a really funny idea and took that and kept that and like ran across the finish line with that. And I think everyone else was supporting me and not fully bought into like how funny the concept of like an old man pissing his pants was. Like, I was like, damn, this is like people think it's a little bit fucked up.
Right,
Um, so, but I was like, it's really funny to kind of just to I like seeing what bad behavior people do when they're put in like hard situations. And I think that's part of like what makes things funny is like someone who seems like a really great guy, but then all of a sudden they're like faced with something that's hard, and then like how do they handle that?
right.
So the inspiration from that is before I signed up for the Kickstand sketch writing class, I went to this thing where you could just go it was like once a month on Sundays called Sketch Coven. That was also hosted through Kickstand. It was my first time ever like writing a sketch, or I think it was like one of the like first or second ones I had written or had like a group read at
Okay.
a table read
Oh,
type,
totally.
you know. Um, and like when we okay. So that it couldn't have been the first one because I met like a dude in that, I guess we'll just call it a class, that
Okay.
was older. He was like pretty old, and he was writing like better scripts than everyone else. His shit was like very, very funny. And I
Okay.
was like, damn, what would it be like if I became best friends with this
With
old
this
guy?
old guy.
Yeah, like he's so dope. It would be like cool to be friends with him. But like, what does that look like in real life? Like, what are the like practical implications of
Right.
that? Like, would I have to go pick him up every time? Probably. Like, does this dude drive? I don't know. What if like when I picked him up, he pissed in my car? Like, he like is older and he can't
Right.
control it. Like,
Totally.
would I continue to be friends with him? Or would I say, I don't think I can do it anymore? And how fucked up is that to break up with someone for
Right.
them being old and pissing? So it's kind of like this idea that I just like it just didn't stop. I
Right.
couldn't stop thinking about it. And like I just like wrote it, and what I don't really like about it is it kind of falls apart in the end. With just a few things fall apart, but it was originally written like this. It was originally written that like first of all the funeral was a tiny bit more set dressed,
Okay.
and then there was an actual hole in the ground where the coffin was already like lowered into the hole, and
Okay.
so it's like Mason showing up at the end because he doesn't want to like catch any flack with the people, but the alcoholic grandchildren are still there saucing beers, like post funeral,
Yeah.
and so he's like going there to like say his goodbyes over the grave where he's already been lowered, and that's when the kids are supposed to be like, "Are you that piece of shit?" And then they like one of them is supposed to kick him into the grave, where Mason then hits his head, um, and he like bleeds out essentially right there, and then they just bury him like
They're reunited.
so they bury him in there. They're like fuck it, and then like after all the hard work, the one dude who killed him he has pissed his pants, and they're like, dude, did you piss your pants? And then it like cuts. So it would have been way better if like you weren't taken out of that reality by just seeing that fucking wacky coffin on the ground, because like then all of a sudden it's like, wait, what the fuck is this?
Right.
Like, what is happening? So I made I learned a lot right there because I made concessions by trying to keep it similar but different. Like, where fuck it, we can't dig
Totally.
a hole, and I had to like
Yeah,
ask Metro
logistically.
Parks, like, can because one of the actors, dude, Arthur, the old man,
Mhm.
he's also only 40. He
Right.
owns that plot that we filmed at, and so
Okay.
like he owns it. And I was like, can we dig a hole? And so I had to ask Metro Parks, and they took time, like
Of
held
course.
deliberations, like about like Native American artifacts and like the
Oh,
whole
wow.
9 yards type like
Right.
thing. And they're like, no, we can't dig holes if like you're not gonna put anyone in there. That was the end. So I was like, fuck it, thank you like for trying. You know, that's awesome that there's
You
so
went through
much
the steps,
government
yeah.
red tape to like see if we can film this sketch. But it made it kind of, I don't like watching the ending anymore, and that's the one thing that I'll say from
Okay.
like the learning piece. But
Well, interesting.
yeah.
Well, it's interesting to have that thought already. I mean, that's something that you can take to your next projects, but I like that. I mean, if they got, I think it's okay for me. I really like the fact that it wasn't, you're taken out of it because, yeah, the coffin is painted bright white. It's on top of the ground. And then rather than resolving that story, I think the fact that it just keeps going, it every time subverts being a natural or a normal sort of narrative trajectory. I like that. I think that adds to the humor. And then at the end, of course, the guy does piss his pants and, cut to credits. I thought that was hilarious. So, but it's interesting to hear
Cool.
your take.
I'm glad that you
Um,
like that. I'm glad that you like that it like sticks with these kind of like the P escalations where it
yes.
looks like it's supposed to go somewhere else.
Right, exactly. You're expecting there to be something that resolves that initial inciting incident, but no, let's just keep it going. And what's it like to write? I mean, stuff like that. Even with your original ending, there is still this weird escalation that resists traditional narrative kind of structure.
Yeah. So I might have done, I think I might have written that prior to like understanding like a sketch structure. And I can tell you it right. It's really easy. Sketch structure is this. What's your premise? What's funny? And then escalate it 3 times. And then what's the button or the turn?
Okay.
Um, and so what's funny in this is like pants peeing, and that
Yep.
or like the premise is like what if this happened? That was like what I told you, you know.
Right.
And then the escalations are like people keep peeing their pants. But what's funny is that like it doesn't escalate necessarily in a way where the same exact thing is heightened. It's like different people are doing it. So the one teacher, like the dude who was teaching, not the like the class, but
Hmm.
the sketch coven at the time, he was like, this is not a sketch. When I like read it, that was like the feedback. Like it was like silent, you know? I was like, huh?
Uh-huh.
Huh? Everybody like this? And it was like crickets. And he was like, this is not a sketch. And then the guy who's the inspiration, he was like, this is irredeemably dark. And so those are gonna be, I don't have those on the movie poster yet, but I'm doing an update when I do my laurels, and I'm gonna say like
Oh
critics are
man.
raving, like this is not a sketch and like irredeemably dark.
Oh god,
Um,
that's hilarious.
yeah.
I love that. That's the feedback. You're like, well, screw that. I'm making this.
I know.
I
I
mean,
know
but
that
that's
is
why it's good.
terrible.
Maybe it's actually that's better. You're in the I mean, I'm sure it's not stuffy, but you're in the world of an ingrained rule set almost to help you with this, and you completely go beyond that and go against that, and there you go. And it's funny as a result. I mean, it's so funny because sketch comedy is supposed to be sort of this free form. I really just take a joke and run with it. But I didn't know there was like rules that you could
There's like sketch comedy
subvert.
purists
Oh
out
gosh,
there.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, dude, you're hilarious. You must
Thank
have
you.
more projects in the works. What's next?
Yeah. So we just finished edits for my second film, Lawnmower Man, which is about a guy who smokes a lot of meth, and he is obsessed with mowing his neighbor's lawn, and it just gets crazier from there. And that one I'm gonna be submitting to all the festivals again and do another
Awesome.
one. This one, and it's I think it's so far people are liking this one
Okay.
more.
You
It's
said you finished
tighter,
filming it?
shorter. Huh?
You finished filming it?
Finished filming it,
Okay.
almost finished editing it. I just have like a couple of things, but then I'm gonna just jam out submitting it again to
Sweet.
a bunch of different festivals. I'm really excited. And then for my third film, I'm switching from like dark comedy and going in a little bit into a horror comedy
Okay.
genre, and we're in pre-production. We're gonna start filming at the end of February for this a short comedy horror.
Okay.
Um, it's called Le Pan. That's about a baker with baguettes for arms, and he has a little like faux pas in the bakery when he's trying to sell some bread. A couple accidentally removes his arm instead, and then he is trying to exact vengeance on them, and he's stalking them. And
Whoa.
yeah, it's that one's gonna be really cool too, and that one's gonna be like production value and like dynamic shot
Okay.
wise is gonna be like I'm stepping it up in that department.
Very cool. Are you still thinking short for that?
Yeah, it's only
Okay.
like 4 or 5 pages. So like
Word.
all of these Best Friends is like a little long. That was like 7 pages. There's so many different locations and stuff.
Right.
But yeah, short, like 5 minutes about
Word.
give or take.
I love these premises. That's so funny. The premise alone's making me laugh. I can't wait to actually see the
I'm
film.
really excited.
I'm super excited. Well, man, is there anything else you'd like to add about Best Friends or Max Magic?
No. I think
Okay.
that we covered everything. That was really awesome.
Well, this is great. I love hearing the process. Love hearing your insight, and I can't wait to screen it again. Best Friends
Oh
and
yeah.
Max Magic at the Portland Comedy Film Festival, February 1st in Clear
Sunday.
Street Theater. Yeah, this Sunday you just screened Best Friends, and yeah, I can't wait to put this on. And uh, it's going to be a lot more, of course, comedy focused guys
I'm excited for
and
the
crew
comedy.
there. So yeah, the crowd is
Yeah.
always super fun. Everyone does stand up, and I think you're going to have a great time interacting with everyone there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's
And
awesome. I bring in a big crowd too, like people
heck yeah.
from the production, like my mom's coming
Okay.
into town. I have a friend coming to town. There's going to be a lot of folks. So it's going to be really really fun.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I cannot wait.
But I also invited you to a little like
I
pre-party that my mom's
saw that.
having.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That was
come
not a
through if you want.
mistake.
Yeah, not a mistake. Come through.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right on. I'll try to make it happen.
My mom's like, is Michael Fair coming? I'm like, he's in Texas, but like he
Yeah.
has another guy. I invited him. Yeah.
The subordinate. Well, perfect, man.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll
so
see you
roll
there.
through.
That's
My whole crew
awesome.
will be there, and my mom's excited about the film festival. It's pretty much
Heck yeah.
celebrating the film festival and like future films.
I love it, man. Well, and also just this is the what you're the standard bearer for Portland cinema blowing up. I love that.
Hell yeah! Well, that's awesome. Cool.
Sweet, man. Well,
Heck
I will
yeah.
see you there.
All right. Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much for taking the time to interview me, and
Absolutely.
this has
Thank
been
you.
really fun. And I will figure out how to get out of this call.
Well, I'll help you.
All
All
right.
right. Take care, man.
All right. Bye.